Hi, it's Mark here. Friday, January the 9th at 9:40 a.m. Eastern, 2:40 p.m. GMT. We've just had the non-farm payroll release numbers um, in the US and Canada. The US, the consensus was for 57,000 new jobs to be created that were created in December. The actual number 50,000. It's a little bit lower than consensus. The unemployment, the consensus was 4.5%. In fact, it came in lower at 4.4%. Canadian, by the way, the consensus for new jobs for December was a negative 5,000 jobs, and in fact, the actual number was a positive 8.2 thousand new jobs created. Unemployment, although it went the other way, the consensus was for 6.7% unemployment, and in fact, it came out at 6.8% unemployment. So we've now got the numbers, and specifically the US numbers. The interesting, to me, interesting is that the response in terms of the US dollar has been positive. US dollar has strengthened. You can see that. I've got support at 98.64. I've got resistance 98.92. I'm going to zoom in just so you can see when the release came out. Initially, it did come down. There's the red candlestick. I'm on the 30-minute chart. But since then, buyers have stepped in, and US dollar looking to continue what we've seen the last few days, and that is strength and looking up at resistance. For now, long way to go in the day. I still believe things can turn around and can change. Let's have a look at how the majors have reacted. The euro, selling euro, buying US. There you see the positive US dollar like we saw on the index. I've got resistance at 116.59. I've got support 116.25. Matching the support area from December has been tested before. We'll see whether US dollar strength can get this sellers to break below the support level, below the current levels. If we're going to see a turnaround from strong to weak US dollar, perhaps a bounce up off this area like we have seen before, buyers will be looking back up at the 117 level. The pound against the US, also positive US dollar. Resistance 134.37, in fact, a little bit higher than that. 134.52. I've got support at 134.02. So testing that $1.34 level again. Again, if we're going to see continued US dollar strength, sellers might break below this support level. A turnaround would see buyers step in, buying pounds, selling US dollar from strong US dollar to weak US dollar, and a turnaround would be looking back up at the to get to the 135 area. The US against the yen. Strong US, you can see broken above the resistance we saw in November, the resistance we saw in December, now trading at a high of 157.98, almost at that 158 level, and that 158.83, that's the high from 2025. We'll see if it can get to that level if we see continued US dollar strength, but dollar rallying against the yen following the non-farm payroll. And lastly, let's look at the Canadian here. Two separate uh, data releases. As I said, the Canadian jobs report and the US jobs report. The net result, bottom line, US dollar rallying against the Canadian, just like it is against everything else, and just like it's been doing for the past 2 weeks now. I've got support at 138.62. I've got resistance at 138.91, looking up at that 139 level. So US dollar strength so far today, strong following the jobs numbers, strong US dollar. We'll see whether that can be maintained. A long way to go in the US session still. But for now, we are testing relative resistance and support levels on the on a lot of the majors, as you saw on the index. We'll see whether those levels can be broken, and in other words, continuation of dollar strength, or if we get a turnaround and a bounce up or down off those levels, if we go from strong US dollar to weak, or at least if the US dollar does give up some of those gains. Good trading.